Hello, everybody. My name is Alish Eisner, and welcome to the Canadian Money Talk, the channel about Canadian investing and personal finance. Please like and subscribe. I record 2 videos per week, so make sure you ring the notification bell to get notified each time one comes out. With the new year of 2022, let's look at some predictions, thoughts, and concerns for 2022. So, some concerns. Number one, inflation. We definitely have inflation. It may be already decelerating, and we could have reached the peak already back in November. The number two would be interest rate increases. So, interest rates will hurt companies with debt, and they could make new fixed income look better, pulling people away from stocks. The related concern to this is that central banks could tighten too quickly, causing a recession and/or market pullbacks as they increase interest rates. Number three, the PE multiples are high right now. The price to earnings has gone beyond the average, and it is near all-time highs. And so as people become less enthusiastic about the markets by having alternatives, and with the central banks tightening up monetary policy and taking their foot off the gas, there may be PE multiple contraction or compression, bringing prices lower even with higher earnings for those stocks. As the Fed completes the tapering and takes liquidity out of the markets, and both Canada and the US start raising interest rates, the PEs could begin to shrink as money becomes more expensive. When there's less money to spend on investments due to less liquidity and more expensive borrowing, the stock markets may reduce their enthusiasm. Number four, COVID and shutdowns are an ongoing minor concern. Even though there are still people getting sick, it seems like we've learned to live with it. Number five is the high growth stocks with no earnings, and especially the ones with no sales, remain exposed to increasing interest rate risk as their valuation lowers due to the increased interest rates. Number six, the US market is quite narrow, meaning most of the gains have been made by a small number of companies. This implies weakness, and if something goes wrong in one of the major players, the market will drop quickly. And finally, number seven, Russia and China are the biggest global risks, where they have issues with the Ukraine and Taiwan, respectively. There is good hope for diplomatic resolutions and things to kind of come off the boil and stay at a low simmer, because these issues have been going on for years, but they've sort of reared their ugly heads in the near past. Let's move on to next year's predictions. You should expect volatility, which is a bit of a generic statement that everybody makes when they don't know exactly what's going to happen. Some pullbacks with unpredictable timing, because the market is a little overheated. But stay invested, because you will not be able to time the market, and it will still trend higher. There will be interest rate hikes on both sides of the border, making borrowing more expensive, and the bond purchase tapering in the US will cause real estate on both sides of the border to rethink its life choices with higher fixed rate mortgage rates. And it will slow down the real estate market some, but it will definitely not crash. Stock markets will have margin accounts become more expensive with the higher interest rates, and the higher bond rates will give investors a better alternative to stocks than they have had until recently. The market will moderate back toward an average 7 to 10% return, just as has been predicted pretty much every year. Some experts see a 10% correction or two in 2022, but that's not going out on a limb. We have one every 12 to 18 months historically. Energy could continue to do well despite the attempts to switch to renewables. Emerging markets could do better as well, finally, as has been predicted for years. I personally favor low PE, dividend increasing stocks, and dividend payers, as I have always. If you have any requests on what you would like me to cover in future videos, please put that into the comment section. Please like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and may you have a profitable day.